Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by RockAuto.com, all the parts your car will ever need.
Welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by RockAuto.com. Now, we're sure glad you stuck with us because it's time for the Master Technician Tech Tip. Hashtag MTTT, and it's all about the catalytic converters. But picture this, you're going down the road, bam, here's your check engine light. What do? No worries, you got your handy dandy RockAuto.com scan tool. Plug it in, shows a code P0420. What does all that mean? Well, it's a catalyst efficiency. Very common code, as a matter of fact. What does even that mean? Well, guess what? Your catalytic converter's deteriorating. How does your car know that? Well, you got a system of oxygen sensors. If you look right here on the table, you have a pre-catalyst converter oxygen sensor and a post-catalyst oxygen sensor. And what's happening is they're reading the condition of your car. That's rich, lean, rich, lean. That's how your computer works. So I take some hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide and NOx, and I shove them in this end, and this first oxygen sensor is bouncing back and forth. And if your catalytic converter is doing your job, well, what comes out is nothing but carbon dioxide and water and some nitrogen, bam, out the back, and guess what? It looks like this. You can see the graphic right there. Simply just goes from a good cat bouncing back and forth to a nice straight line. That's good. The other one though, it's bouncing on both sides. What happened? Well, the gases went in, it sniffed a rich lean condition, and the second one sniffed a rich lean condition. That means your catalytic converter's not doing its job. Well, then what? Guess what? Tech tips, gotta love it. Couple things you can do with your catalytic converter. You can just take a hammer and you can actually rattle on the exhaust, okay? And what happened if you hear some kind of vibration or something going on inside of there? Well, your catalytic converter inside could be actually deteriorating. It's called thermal meltdown. You can see it right here. And what's going on inside of there is it starts to chip apart, and when you hit it with the hammer, well, you hear all that stuff in there rattling away. That's one good test. Now, there's a couple other things you can do. You can actually do a vacuum test. You can take a vacuum gauge like this right here. You can hook it up to a reputable vacuum source, something past the throttle body. You know, all those vacuum lines on your car, even the brake booster is a good one to get some vacuum from. Then you go ahead and start your car. You let it idle about 2,000 RPM, and you just watch the gauge. If the gauge starts dropping, well, you're losing vacuum. Why is that? Well, the exhaust is not coming out. If the exhaust is not coming out, you can't get the intake in. If you can't get the intake in, you lose vacuum. Now, there's also a pyrometer test. You can actually take this here and shoot the front and the back of the cat. The catalytic converter is an oxygen storage container. It's pretty cool. You either have a honeycomb that looks like this material right here, or you have some pellets inside of the catalytic converter. Either way, they're coated with rhodium, palladium, platinum, different catalysts that goes inside of there. So your HCs come in, bam, it does its job, and out goes clean exhaust. So shoot the front, shoot the back. I should raise temperature, that oxygen, just like blowing on a fire. It should be able to heat it up and come out the back. So you should see about a 25 to 50 degree difference from the front to back. You know you're doing great. Now, a foolproof test, you can actually get a pressure gauge. It looks just like this here. Hook it up to a car. It's going to tell you exactly what's going on with your exhaust, and Josh is doing that right now.
Thanks, John. I was actually going to test this catalytic converter, but I saw that the O2 sensor is way up high, so I figured I'd come back here post-cat just so everybody at home can see exactly what's going on. But the first thing before you want to take this O2 sensor out and hook up your back pressure gauge is go ahead and get you some rust penetrant. Spray around there, let it soak 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, depends how rusted up it is. Let it soak in there, and after that you should be able to break these things free pretty easily. Right here I have an O2 sensor socket specifically made for O2 sensors. We got ours at rockauto.com. They have plenty to choose from for your vehicle. What this does, this slit right here allows it to go up and over that pigtail so you can get that O2 sensor out there with any kind of problem. I've already broken this loose. I'm just going to unthread it, and I have right here in my hand an adapter that I'm going to place in here. A lot of these pressure gauges don't have this adapter, so don't go looking for your adapter if you don't have one. But I got one. I'm going to thread it in. It's got a quick connect on it, and I have a pressure gauge here. This is my back pressure tester. In my case, I have red for bad, green for good. I got a guy up there, he's part of our team, his name is Trip. He's part of our tech team. I'm gonna get him to go ahead and start this vehicle and we'll watch these gauges. Hopefully it's going to stay in the green, but it may go to the red. Let's check it out and see. Go ahead, Trip. That's good. This one stayed where it was supposed to stay, so everything past this pressure gauge is good.
Awesome job, Josh. You know, that's a good catalytic converter, but if you have a bad one, no worries. Tom and Dave has you covered.
Well, John, in the old days, it was one size fits all in the automotive industry, but it's not that way anymore. Take these catalytic converters and this whole assembly, for example.
Right, yeah, there's really 3 different categories regulation-wise for catalytic converters now. There's the EPA federal regulations that most states that require you to comply with. Then there's states that require California emissions, so we'll have converters that are California emissions compliant. And then there's another level that if you're for sale in California, you need to be California Air Resource Board compliant, CARB compliant. So, and that's like special documentation and stampings on the catalytic converters. So you can actually filter the catalog for, if you need a CARB compliant, you can unclick federal compliant and you'll just see the CARB catalytic converters.
And what if I'm not in California? Can I still use those CARB compliant parts on my car?
Yes, so you can use a CARB compliant catalytic converter in any state, but in California, you can only use CARB compliant.
So you play it safe and put that on your car anyway?
Sure, yeah, if you're going to move to California.
I like it, you never know. Of course, we see the hole for the O2 sensors. What other parts and pieces do you have that are going to go along with this that I can put on my vehicle?
Yeah, we'd have the upstream and downstream oxygen sensors. We'd have the gaskets and the hangers and the brackets, everything back of the catalytic converter, the muffler, tailpipe, all the parts to fix up your exhaust system.
Well, it's all the parts you'll ever need, and they are serious. If you look in their catalog, there's a huge variety to choose from on just about everything at reliably low prices, John.
Well, it's been a great day here at Tech Garage, but the verdict's right here. Josh Ellis, is it going to run? Whoa, smooth too. Go ahead, shut it off, man.
Outstanding.
Way to go. That's 9 for 9 here at Tech Garage.
Still undefeated, John?
Yeah, buddy.
Well, we're not going to leave it like this. Of course, we're going to service the car. Our friends at Rock Auto gave us some oil and some transmission fluid and the filters that we need to get this thing up and running in tip-top shape.
No doubt it's been sitting for a while. You know, we're out of time for today, but you're going to have to join us next week. We may go 10 for 10. But in the meantime, look at us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that cool stuff. We'll see you next week for more Tech Garage presented by RockAuto.com.
Production assistance for Tech Garage is provided by Chipola College, located in Marianna, Florida. Founded in 1947, Chipola was ranked recently as one of the top 3 community colleges in the United States.